Hello, guys, welcome. And today we are on a very interesting topic. I am going to show you how I made over $14,000 selling options in just 5 months in 2020 this year, right? So, are you ready to look into my account and see how I did it? Welcome in. Let's check it out. Okay, so I'm going to show you my account so you see my results, and I'm going to also share with you how I got the results. Hey, seeing is believing, right? Let me show you quick. There you see my account. So that's my name, Kamlesh, and that's the account. I have taken it from 1st of January. Look, 1st of January 2020 to 30th September 2020, right? So that's the period that I have taken here. And look what happened in this period. Just take a look. That's $17,400. $17,400 in 5 months, okay, on one company, Netflix. Okay, so here is the company, Netflix, right? So on one company, Netflix, you can see that I netted that kind of return. Okay, and you can too. You can too. So that's proof. Let's go back. Okay, and then this is very exciting. The second thing I'm going to share with you is my millionaire roadmap that I have created for myself of how anybody can achieve $1 million in 10 years, and you can copy this roadmap. So these are the two things you're going to look at today. So I'll show you how to sell options every week to generate weekly income, because this is what I am doing right now, and this generates weekly income every week. Now, the fantastic thing here is this: 2020 has been a year of recession. 2020 has been a year where people lost jobs and there's a lot of uncertainty. And in this year, we are able to create this kind of income from the stock market. Even though you all know that the stock market rallied a lot, but my method was not using that rally, it was selling options. All right, so I'm loving this, and you will also love it once you see how you can be part of this and you can do it for yourself. All right, so how good can this be? Yeah, this can be this good. Yeah, I earned $14,000 in 5 months. I did most of my trades only on two companies. So I did not have to do a hell lot of research, analysis, and whatnot for using this method. Although I did do a ton of research this year, I did many other trades, and all of that is different strategies. But for this strategy to sell options, the one I'm going to share with you, I just did on two companies. I just did these trades on Thursday and Friday. That means that what I'm telling you is you can actually do one trade a week every Friday and you are done. Okay, so if you're a busy professional, if you're working on your job, if you do not have time, if you do not have the expertise to scan the markets to do the analysis, then this one technique is all you do with one trade a week, two trades a week, and this gives you decent income between $500 to $1,500 per week, okay, depending on how much capital you put to work. And that's the power of this. Now, it took me less than 45 minutes each day. Once you knew what to do, it doesn't take 45 minutes also, but in the beginning it will take about an hour, and you will definitely be on the laptop for about 1.5 hours, because once you put a position you will want to look at it and stuff like this. Okay, I made decent income during the worst catastrophe faced by mankind, and that is why this looks very promising, and that is why I'm very excited to share this with as many people as I can. Now, it's supplemented as a great second income, while my primary income I practically lost it because I was locked down for 5 months, a good 5 months, and I couldn't work, and it was quite a mess. Thank God I had this second income to survive on. I can now continue repeating this for me for life. Okay, so that's the power of it. With the same knowledge, without learning anything new, without becoming a champion in stock markets, I can still generate decent income every week for the rest of my life. And that is the best part. Okay, so let me first explain what are options, because I assume that some of you may not even know what are options. All right. Now, they are awesome financial tools created for most people to lose money. Okay, and very few people to pocket all that lost money. Okay, so usually when we are buying options, when people are doing options trading, they are on the other side where they are losing the money, and then some people on the other side are collecting all that money. So we want to cross over and go to the other side, right? If you have ever traded options, you will know how much money you can lose in options and how you feel they are so risky, right? So at the end of this presentation, I believe that you will that experience that you have had, the hard experience, it will change. Now, they are a contract. Options is just a contract between a buyer and a seller on whether a stock will go up or down, right? So it's just like any other contract. When you buy property, you enter a contract between a buyer and a seller. So option is also a contract. It's a bet that two people make to say, in the next 2 days, in the next 1 week, in the next 1 month, will the stock go up or down? Okay, so it has a time limit. You can choose the time limit to whatever you are comfortable with. You can choose your option to have a time limit of 6 months. You can also choose it to have a time limit of 1 day. Okay, now they have an expiry date like all contracts have, and they have market madness priced in. So for example, you have already seen madness in prices in many other commodities. For example, houses. If there is a boom, a $200,000 house becomes $350,000 house. It even becomes a $500,000 house. And then people buy it at 500,000, and then when the market drops, it is back to 300,000. And people are locked in, right? They have to pay high EMIs, even though the current value is not such. So I call this, the word I use to show this in the market is madness. Okay. In the options world, we use the word implied volatility, which is a technical term, which means the same thing, madness. Okay. So when there are 20,000 people willing to buy a pen, then the price of the pen is $200. If next day, there are only two people left to buy this pen. Then the price of the pen is $1. All right. So that is what I call madness. Now you can bet on a stock going up, so that's called a call option, or you can bet on a stock going down. That's called a put option. So if you feel that this stock is going to go down today and tomorrow, you buy a put option. If you feel it's going to go up, you buy a call option. Okay. So that in simple words is what options are, right? Simple contracts, betting on the direction of where the stock will go, and then you can choose your duration, right? And generally people buy options. However, very few knowledgeable people sell options. So what I'm going to share with you is selling options, okay? Because buying, as you will see, I'll share with you, buying is not what we want to do every week. Now, what's the difference between buying stocks, as in shares of a company, and options, right? So, once you buy shares of a stock, you can keep it forever, literally, right? That means you can keep it for 20, 30, 40 years. You can even pass the shares to your children, who can then in future use these, right? So, as long as the company is performing well, you don't need to even sell them. Okay, so they don't have a time limit practically. So stocks are suited for long-term investors who have a good starting capital. So, if a stock is $300 and you want to buy 100 shares, you need $30,000. So it needs a lot of capital to buy shares. Okay, so it is easy to know, right, what stocks will perform good in the long run, right? Today, all of us know that if I'm going to buy Microsoft and Amazon and Google and Apple and Facebook, these will make money, or Spotify and stuff, right? In the long run. However, some may not be good to buy right now. For example, Spotify, because it has already overshot a lot in price. But in general, it's easy to, find out which stock will make money. But you need to have a lot of capital, like I said. And this is the problem. Most people do not have a lot of capital to start with. And this is why options were introduced, and options are very cheap. They need very little capital. So one option controls 100 shares of a company, right? So if you just buy one option contract, then you only need $500 to control the 100 shares, versus in the example I shared with you just now, you would otherwise need $30,000 to control 100 shares. All right. So let's take this instance, this example to understand. If the stock goes up by $5 and you purchase 100 shares, you will actually make $500 by buying shares. All right. So your investment is 30,000, and then your profit is 500. So which is very, very little, right? Percentage profit. But however, if you buy an option instead, one contract, it will go up by $3 when the stock price goes up by $5. Because to keep things simple, in general, the option price moves 50-60% of the stock price. All right. So when the option goes up by $3, that means you bought the option for, let's say, $5. So now it will be $8, right? So you made a profit of 300, because $3 multiplied by 100 shares, because one option contract controls 100 shares. So you made a profit of 300. But remember, for options, your investment was only 500. So that gives you a very strong return on equity, or ROI, way higher, right, than what you got with shares. So now you understood the two major differences between buying shares and buying options. One, you need huge capital if you want to buy stock. And secondly, even if it moves $5, $10, how much profit potential you have is not great ROI. Okay, so in short, if you look at the last sentence, you need less capital and have a higher return when working with options. And this is why people trade options, right? So I hope this clarifies to you why everybody wants to buy options, because it needs lesser money, right? So why are stocks good then? Well, stocks are a good instrument for investment for long term, and options are more good of an instrument for short term trading, right? So people want to trade short term with little capital, and they want to build capital, right? So that's the whole point of buying options. So now comes the interesting question that I have been talking about selling options, right? So what is the difference between a buyer and a seller? Let's explore. Now, selling needs special understanding of option pricing. So once you understand this, then it's very simple, like many other things. But in the beginning, to understand this once, it gets a bit tricky, right? Now, selling needs you to know how to put odds in your favor before you take the trade. Okay. And you need to know some sort of secrets, right, to make you a consistent winner in selling. And this is not true for selling options, it's true for everything. Even you run a business, right, you will notice that you have two restaurants side by side on the same road offering similar kind of menu, and one has people queuing up and the other one there nobody wants to go, right? So any business, we need to know the secret sauce, and then that is how we get solid success. Okay, so it's the same with trading. There are secrets to every technique or every strategy, and once you know those, then your income becomes consistent. All right. So if you look at I put up a little table to explain. There are three basic things that I told you decide the price of an option. And now we look at, buying versus selling. So stock price movement must be in your favor. So this is true whether you're buying an option or whether you're selling an option. The stock should move in the direction that you put the bet on, to say that If you bought a call and you said it'll go up, then it should go up. If you bought a put, then it should go down, right? If the stock goes in the opposite direction, definitely you lose money. The second parameter that is true for options is time. And when you are buying an option, and let's say you bought an option which the contract expires in 2 weeks, and I sold that to you, okay? So as a seller, you paid me certain amount of premium, some money in consideration to, as part of that contract, to hold the position for 2 weeks. And within this 2 weeks, you should be right on the bet as a buyer. If you are right on the bet as a buyer, you make money. If you are not right on the bet, then after 2 weeks, if the stock doesn't move at all in these 2 weeks, then I keep the premium that you paid me, the money you paid me as part of contract, and the contract expires. All right. So time is always against you when you are buying options, because every day passes, your option is going to near expiry. I'll explain this in a little more detail a bit later. As a seller, time is always in your favor. Okay. Similarly, madness, that means the market madness behind a given stock, that is also against the buyer of options, and it is in favor of the seller. So when we sell options, out of three factors, two are already in our favor, right? You just need price to be little bit in your favor. And the beautiful thing about selling is, even if the price goes in the opposite direction little bit than what you expected it to, you still turn a profit as a seller, right? So now you see that why selling makes a lot of sense compared to buying. Then why is it that most people don't sell? Like I explained, one, they do not even know. I also did not know this for many, many years. And two, they basically do not understand options in entirety, to understand how the pricing of option works, what is the impact of implied volatility, how to check, how to take advantage of it, or how to keep yourself safe from it. Right? So people end up buying the wrong options, is all that I'm saying. And when they buy wrong options, if you are the seller who's selling to them, of course you end up winning the bet, right? And then that is how you make money and they lose the money. So what are the secrets, right? I just told you you need to know some secrets. So I'll share with you what are the secrets that we need to know as a seller, and then that will make us a consistent winner. So there are secrets that we must learn, and one of them is you need to know how to kill your opponent with one move instantly for sure, right? That means the moment you take the trade, you already know that the buyer is confirmed going to lose. How to find this kind of trade? Okay. And remember, every week we do not want to go and hunt for this kind of trade. Every week we do not want to go and hunt for this kind of company. So that is where I created a little strategy for myself to say that I do not need to every week hunt for these parameters, right? I shortlisted a list of stocks that meet these parameters week after week, and then they give me my earnings week after week. You can win in selling if the stock goes against you. Now, this is awesome, right? This can never, never, ever happen as a buyer. So these are the secrets. You need to know how to find a buyer who doesn't understand a good product from a bad product. Okay. And then we sell him the wrong product. That means you sell him the wrong option, the one that nobody should ever buy. But because he doesn't understand, he buys, right? It's like selling the wrong house at the wrong price. There's no way the buyer is going to make money. Okay. Secret number two is you need to know how to sell to a buyer who doesn't understand what is good price to buy. Okay, so he buys at the wrong price. So basically, you sold him a wrong product at a wrong price, a higher price than what he should be actually paying. So this is how we make sure and we ensure that he loses right at the start. Secret three is that you sell to him at the wrong timing. Okay, so you basically put all the odds in your favor and you win the bet straight away, right? And like when you talk about options, as a buyer, timing is against you. And then if I, as a seller, know how to check what is the wrong timing and sell to you at the wrong timing, you are practically finished. And that explains to you why 95% of option buyers lose money. Okay, only 5% of them make money. So this is these are the three reasons, right? Sellers of options are knowledgeable people who know these three factors and they make sure that the buyer is wrong. Okay, now let me show you how I did it so that you can copy the same method. Okay, so first let's understand what did I do in the first place. Okay, so I will show you my actual account and then you will see the results I generated, and then you will have a brief understanding. Okay, folks, we are here in my account again, and let me show you what I do basically. So, these are options. If you are new to options, then you may not even understand. But never mind, just let's go through and see what you can pick up. Now, these are options on Netflix. So, Netflix stock, these are calls here, and these are puts here. All right. So, like I explained earlier, so I'm going to zoom this a bit. So you can see these are calls. Calls means when you're bullish, you buy a call, and then these are puts. Okay, so when you feel that the stock is going to go down, you buy a put. Okay, now for us, the game is selling, right? It's not buying. So let's take a closer look at the puts section here. And inputs, let me take a look at this 465 put. Okay, so right now the price of Netflix is about 470. Okay, and this option will expire in 3 days. The validity is 3 days. 13th November will expire. So that means that my bet is that Netflix will not go down to 465. Okay, in 3 days. Okay, it'll go up. That's my bet, for example. So what I'll do is I am going to then right click here, sell this option. I want to sell it. Sell this option and choose to sell just one contract of it, just to show you. And you see that when I sell this one contract, I will receive $645, and the capital I need is 8,500, which is huge, right? So in this sense, in this case, the reward to return ratio is not good, right? I'm not liking it. Okay, so let's take a look at another method to do the same thing. So this 645 is the price of the option. All right. And like I explained to you, you multiply this by 100. So $6.45 multiplied by 100 is $645 is what you receive when you sell this put option one contract. Okay. So in this case, I am actually going to now sell it in another method which we call as vertical spreads. And you will see what happens in a vertical is that the capital requirement goes down. Okay, I don't need so much of capital, so I'll receive 97 cents multiplied by 100, $97. So what I'll receive is $97. However, the total amount of money I will need is only 154. Okay, so let me widen the profit slightly. I will choose 460 instead. So I'm choosing a $5 difference in the strike prices. So I receive $165 for investment of 336. All right. So this is like 50% return. Okay. And in 3 days, the only thing for me to receive this 165 in my account is that Netflix should stay above $465, which was my strike price. Okay, that's the only thing that should happen. I'll zoom this a bit. So $165 is what we receive. 336 is the capital that we need. So that means if even if you have $500, right, you can take this trade. Okay, and then you wait for 3 days and you receive this 165 in your account. okay, as long as Netflix stays above 465. So this is the entire game plan. Okay, this is what I am doing, and this is how we basically sell options to buyers who want to buy it. Okay, if you are bearish, that means you feel that Netflix is going to go down, then we go and sell calls instead. So let me, for example, just show you that I will take a 580 call for Netflix and look at one contract, and this is what you see. All right, so you receive $80 for an investment of $170. Okay, which is again about 50%. Right, all you need for you to receive this $80 in 3 days is Netflix should stay below 480. Okay, so like I explained to you earlier, it's a directional bet. That means you need to be right on the bet. Okay, and then there are other factors at play which also help you because you are a seller. So I sold a call to a person who feels that Netflix will go up. I feel it will go down. So I sold a call to him, and you can also do selling a put, which is here, is what we did to a person who feels that Netflix will go down, and if you feel it will go up. All right. So this is what we do. Now, of course, for us to know the direction precisely, because otherwise you lose the game, right? Is what we learn in the course, how to see charts, how to know the direction, what indicators to use, and stuff like this, right? There is a lot of stuff that people have put into place to give us a lot of guidance, right? Now, there is no sure shot thing, okay, because the market can do irrationally whatever it wants. If the president puts up a tweet, the entire market can reverse. Okay, so it has happened multiple times during Mr. Donald Trump's presidency. So it's completely irrational. But however, when we make these bets, like I shared with you, there are certain secrets using which, even if it goes against us slightly, we will still make profit. And then in times where the entire market really turns against us, we just have to close our trade, sometimes even at a small loss. All right. So that is how we play this. But understand this before the fear and the chills go through your spine, right? Understand this very clearly. Your and my money that we are putting onto these markets is a very small amount. There are banks and hedge fund managers and big guys who are, and even governments who are actually playing these markets, and they have millions of dollars on the line. They are buying or they are selling or buying Netflix worth 10 million, 20 million, 50 million. So they really cannot go wrong. And it is for them that they have created specialized indicators, reading which they get to quite a point of certainty that they are correct in their directional trade. Okay, and those are the same indicators that we will be using. However, when you take an indicator as a default, then it does not give you the best signals. So you need to know how to tweak the indicator, modify it, and how to read it properly, and use all of these charts and patterns to actually give you the correct direction. But however, I don't like to make things very complicated because I like to keep it very, very simple for myself. Hence, I will share with you simplified methods of quickly reading the price. Okay, so let's go back and see the next part. So this is where you understood what I am doing on a daily basis. Okay, let's proceed from here. So I'm basically selling options day in day out. Okay, most of the times I'm just selling options. All right. And then here is what is very interesting. So this is the graph on which we make money all day. Now, like you understand, option is a product which has a time limit set to it. So let's say we buy a 90 days option that's expiring in 90 days. Just now I showed you option that's expiring in 3 days. Yeah. So I usually play those, right, that have just a couple of days left. So basically, over the 90 days, let's say the buyer paid $5 to buy this option, the seller received the $5, right? $5 into 100 shares will be $500 he received. Now that $5 value, the $500 becomes zero. At this point, when the option is expiring, it becomes zero. It's really worth nothing. The seller keeps the entire 500, the buyer loses the entire 500 if the buyer was wrong in his guesswork of the direction. Okay. Now what we do is something very smart. You see here, the curve is very flat and here it's falling fast. But we sell here just when 1, 2 days are left. Okay, 3 days are left. So it goes to zero very quickly. So instead of getting $5, we just get 90 cents, like you saw just now, 80 cents. But then this 80 cents goes to zero very fast within the next 2 days, and we pocket value from this fast time decay. That's our game plan. That's what we are doing. That's what I teach people how to do. And that's what I do when I sell options day in, day out. So I sold options to greedy buyers who did not have a clear understanding of what they are buying. So wrong product and at a wrong price and on the wrong timing, because there's just 1 or 2 days left to expiry. So they have very little time for them to be correct, right? And if they are not, they really burn their money. Now, of course, they lost and I won 90% of time, actually 95% of time. I repeated the process every week to generate cool income. And here's the best part for me. I had very little risk. The buyer took most of the risk, right? Time was against him, price was against him, and even the option that I sold him, right, is something that he shouldn't even buy, because you see that there are so many options to choose from, and there's a reason why we choose a particular one to sell. So these are the very secrets that I was talking about, right? Which you watch YouTube videos and stuff, you can't get this stuff, okay? Because people really wouldn't share how they make a lot of money unless they are paid. Now I was quite sure of my income each week. I can continue doing this for many years to come, and there are thousands of buyers available every week for me to sell to them, right? So the process is very repeatable. That's the best part. Because see, if we don't have enough buyers, right, then it's a problem, okay? But there are just too many buyers, okay? Let me just see if I can quickly show you here. There are just too many buyers, and every week these buyers are there in the market. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I was just trying to switch. Okay, there you go. So you see, this is the number of people, 1,000 people. Okay, 1,000 people are willing to buy this from me. 1,000 people. Do you see that? This is the number of buyers. Okay, that's open interest. That means how many people are interested to buy. Okay, when the markets open, you can actually see the volume of how many people are trading this at this particular strike price. All right, so this is 1,000 people. This is 2,000 people. There are just too many buyers, right? And in both directions. So it doesn't matter which direction we are. In both directions, you will have a lot of buyers. Look, 900 people here, 500 people here, 500 people here, 800 people here, right? So you have just that you need to know how to pick what is the best strike price here for you to sell, and then that stock should not reach, and then you're done. All right, so let's go back to our presentation then. Okay, sorry, here it is, right? So I simplified the process so I don't need to research for a new company every week, okay? Because that was very important for me. I couldn't be sitting down. Now I'm super interested in trading and I employ many other strategies also. So I am in the market for 2 hours every day and even 3 hours sometimes, right? But that's different. For this particular technique, right, you can actually just take a couple of companies, 3 or 4, which I'll share with you in the course, and that's not a secret, right? One of them is Netflix. I showed you. So that's not a secret, but I will explain to you in the course why these companies, what is it that we see in them that tells us that they are here to stay and give us this opportunity. So I limited myself to trading 2 days a week, sometimes 3 days, sometimes only 1 day a week. And I'm talking strictly about selling options, right? This method that I'm sharing with you. The other strategies that they did is not what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can copy and repeat this method, and learning from me is definitely easy and affordable. And basically, you can just start learning with me for free, and I'll share with you how in just a moment, right? Now, what do you need to do this? Okay, you need a good understanding of how to trade options, both buying and selling. You need to learn how to find which stock to sell options on, because what if in future after 2 years Netflix is not the best stock to give you the most amount of money, right? Then we should switch, we should go to another one. So that's why you need to learn this part. You need to be sure on the direction of the stock for the next 2 or 3 days, right? Because you're selling 2 or 3 days to expiry. So you need to be very, very, very sure. And I'll share with you how we exactly do that. We basically use the same indicators that the hedge fund managers, the banks, the big guys are using, right? So they also are not magicians. They also decide based on graphs, charts, indicators. Okay, so we do the same. How to check if the option you're selling is wrong for the buyer? That means we need to sell him a wrong product so that we straight away win, right? So how do we check that all those three parameters are met? What to do if market turns against you? Then you need to have a exit strategy in place. So this is one thing that need to be learned. And then you need to learn how to see the charts and indicators like I'm talking, right? So that's a must have. Now it may sound like too much, right? It may sound like, oh my God, I have to learn too many things. Uh, Let me share with you that whatever profession you are, whether you're in IT or you are an accountant or whatever profession you are, we didn't know the skill. When we are 10 years old, we didn't know shit. Okay, we didn't know anything. Whatever it is, we picked up in this world as we grew up, and then we learned. Okay, and once we learned that skill, like driving a car, right? And then once you drive 1,000 miles, then you can go from your office to your home with half your brain working, and you looking off the road 20% of the time, right? You basically know how to drive back home. So it becomes second nature. So trading is same. It's a skill. We pick it up. We run. The problem here is this. When you usually learn trading from YouTube, from somebody's course, from anywhere, right? You basically are taught too many things. Even I did this mistake in my initial days when I started teaching people, right? I used to share a lot. I want the guy to get as much information out of me as much possible. I feel like, okay, they have paid me, so I need to do a good job, and then I'll just dump all the information on the person, and the poor thing will be clueless, right? And it's very thankful to God that I very quickly realized this mistake. And then I told myself that no, for a beginner, for somebody who comes in new in this, he should just focus on one technique. And when I analyzed myself and saw why was I losing sometimes, making money sometimes, I found that I'm focusing on too many things, and that's the problem. So I'm defocusing actually. So I just took one strategy and sat with that one strategy, and for 2 months I did not do any other trade, just that one strategy, right? And then I saw that my profits went through roof. They were amazing, right? So that's the power of focusing on one technique. So this is exactly what I want to work with you and deal to you is one strategy, one type of trade, do it once or twice a week, you're done, end of story. Once you master this in 3 4 months, we come back and look at something else, right? So this is the way to go. So this is the whole crux, is that I have simplified this into a step by step process where you just learn one thing, you do that one thing, you earn a weekly income, you earn a monthly income until that is second nature, and then you learn the second technique, second strategy to deploy the additional cash you have in the account for making another piece of money, right? You need to then also learn trading platform Thinkorswim that we use in the course that I have been showing you all along. This platform is from the company TD Ameritrade. You need a trading account, so you can open one if you don't have one already. Whether you open with TD Ameritrade, you open with Robinhood, it's up to you, right? Whatever you're comfortable with. I like TD Ameritrade, and you should definitely open an account with Thinkorswim because this platform is great. It shows us stuff that is harder to see on other platforms, right? It's easier to see here. Although when you start up first, it looks like this is a pro's desk, right? What am I doing here? It really feels like that. But after a while, you get used to it and it's easy. So, like I said, I've simplified all of the above for you. And now I'm going to answer some common questions that people usually ask. Okay, what are the returns it generates? Now, this is a tricky one. Okay, why? Because I will tell you how much returns it generates, and you're not going to believe it. It's so damn hard to believe when somebody tells you the first time until you have really seen it, right? Now, average returns is 10% per trade, and you will see why we need 10% per trade in the Millionaire Roadmap. I'll share with you very shortly, but. Average, okay, and then that's like, wow, what are you talking, man? How can you get 10% in a trade? It's very, very common, very, very average. And now I'll show you how we get 10%. Okay, in a minute after I answer these questions, I will show you in the account how we get 10%, exactly how we get it, right? And it's so simple that you, without learning, also can look at this video now and understand already, right? Now, if the trade is good, if the setup is good, we get 20%. If this is bad, we get 5%, okay, per trade. But if it's 5%, I don't take the trade. To be honest, I don't even take it, right? I don't take any trade that gives me below 10%. And you will understand why when you see the walkthrough with me in the account. So that's the returns, right? Average 10%, good 15%. Uh, Sometimes the trade goes against us. We even close it at 2%. We even close it at minus 5%. Okay, so 10 on 10 trades, you will win money. This doesn't happen. Why it doesn't happen? Because somebody will tweet, some news will come out, some coronavirus will come out, something will happen, right? North Korea will send missiles over Japan. Some rubbish in the world will happen that will get the markets to go goddamn against you. Okay, so no matter how good you know how to see charts or whatever, so we live with it. It's all right. We live with it. You drive a car, it breaks down sometimes. You fix it, you drive it back, and then it does the job. Okay, so this is exactly how we need to look at it. Look at your trading as your business. In a business, you have ups and downs. However, the net return a business gives you is why you take all the headache, and it gives you the freedom, it gives you the money, and that's why you take all the headache and you run the business. All right. So no need to fret that. Okay, interesting one. What's the minimum investment needed? Minimum is 500 US dollars. At 500 US dollars, you will earn $50 in one trade. Okay, you will earn $50 in one trade after commissions. So net. Are you happy with that? 500, 10% is $50, guys. So, like I said, uh, 2000, $3,000 will be a good start, I would say. If you can put up to 5,000 in your account, that's great. If you have 10,000, brilliant. Okay, you can do multiple trades and life is much easier. All right. How long do you need to trade each day? Once you understand the strategy, it takes about 15-20 minutes. Okay, but you should not sit for 15-20 minutes. You should at least sit for a little longer time. Why? Because then you are able to, now if you're working and then you say, I can't sit in markets, never mind, you sit 1 hour outside market timings after it has closed, after you come back home, because you need to keep looking at the charts, right? The charts do tell a story about how human psychology is moving the markets, And once you learn how to read this story, you start making money. And when you get good at it, the amount of money you make is colossal, is huge, guys. This is the highest paid per hour job in the world. That's how I think about it, because it is. You will see my entire account now. I'm going to show you in the walkthrough, and you will see. You'll agree with me. There's a highest paid job. What if you lose money? I already answered this. Okay. What if this method does not work? You see, this method works now, including Warren Buffett sells puts. Uh, just Google for this. Look at YouTube. The whole world is doing this, right? But then those people in the whole world, the big guys, they did not teach the small guys like us, okay? And then there were people who were hedge fund managers last time, who were working in wealth management last time. They quit their jobs and then they started services, they started their own funds, they started teaching services, and this is how all of this knowledge came out, okay? So till date I haven't found a book where you can actually just straightforward read and learn and understand, right? The rich want to hide this from the poor is how I get it. Okay, so this method works. Okay, there's no question of it does not work. What if you lose money? We already lost a lot of money when we send our children for tuitions. That money is never coming back. Okay, and neither are the kids taking care of a 7-year old. So we lost that money. Okay, we lost that to get a good feeling that we are good parents. Okay, and when we gave $70,000 for a master's degree, God knows what that master's degree brought us. And I'm a computer engineer myself, and we know the cost of education, and we are paying 5, 6, 7% student loan for the loans we take for universities. It's the world is crazy already, right? So according to me, that money is also lost. Okay, it's a piece of paper you get, it's some additional knowledge you get. That additional knowledge does not even guarantee you $500 extra per month on the job. It doesn't guarantee. And if you did get that, you can be kicked out because you don't know how to play politics, right? I was kicked out of my job because I couldn't deal with politics. So yeah, so it's like that. So we have already lost a lot of money. So no need to talk about what if I lose money and all this. Look, in your bank account you have $3,000, you have whatever money, take 3,000, put it here, forget about it. Just think you went for expensive vacation, end of story. When you go for a vacation, you spend 3, 4, 5,000, you do not expect this money to come back. And you're fine with it. You're super happy, right? So why aren't you super happy by putting this 4, 5,000 into trading? And even if you lose the entire amount, so what's the big deal? You went for a vacation, end of story, right? You are learning a skill that is going to provide you a substantial income for the entire life. You'll not be dependent on your job alone. It will help you. So in that sense, and I'll tell you one thing. Every parent needs to learn this. According to me, every freaking parent needs to learn. Why? Because if you do not learn and you do not know how to do this, who will teach your kids? There is no tuition classes for this. It's really the parents who have to bring it to the next generation and explain them. So this is why I think that all parents should learn this. All right, moving on. Am I available for questions after the course? Yes, you will email me the questions. I will usually send you a video, a short video, and I am preparing videos for FAQ, right? Every time people ask me a question, I create a video to answer that. So you will have access to these videos later, and yes, I'll be available. What do I think about risk in investments is exactly what I explained to you just now, that there's risk in everything, including driving a car, including going for a master's degree, expecting to get a job, everything. Okay, so the risk is actually covered as long as we are alive and as long as we are kicking hard. The risk is covered. There's no risk when you are standing up for yourself. There's no risk. The risk you don't care. You will make it happen. That's the statement. If you are not going to make it happen, then anyway, nobody is going to make it happen for you. All right. So now that you have understood this whole thing, I would like to give you a little gift because you stayed with me so far and you spent your time to listen to all of this. I really wish and hope that this excites you. So, there is a link below. You can see it in the description also, and you can go to this link and sign up just your name and email ID, and I will send you uh, a video course that I have created, which will teach you options basics, right? So if you are new to options or you have certain doubts about certain things, then this course is free. You can just go through it. There is no obligation. I'm not selling you anything. I need you to understand options before you even decide to join me with learning selling options. All right, so you need to understand options very well. So you go and take this course. I will send it to you on the email, the link for you to join in. And then I will also like to invite you, and if you're interested, to join a live market discussion. That means one of the days, usually on a Friday, I will actually sell an option. We will do a meeting on Zoom or something, and I will send you the invite link. You join in when the markets are actually open, and in the first 1 hour, and we will actually sell option. I will sell the option, and you will see that. You will watch me doing it, and then you will see how within 1 hour I make the money on that option. Okay, so that is like trading with me live. That's also free. It's for you to see that this whole thing actually works. Okay, and get that confidence. So once you have gone through the basics option course and you have seen it in a live session with somebody, and of course, you can ask me certain questions that I can answer. And then you have seen somebody actually making a trade for 2 weeks and how the trade profits. And then you can decide if you want to learn this, then you can get in touch with me, and the link for the course is also there in the description for you to see, and you also find my email ID in the description, so you can then email me also whatever questions you have. So do you see, I'm actually trying to take you as far as I can inside the water without you having a risk of spending your money or joining a course or paying someone, for you to really see that this thing works, and it's not something that somebody is doing just to sell his courses. It's not a gimmick. It's not a fantasy, right? It's not join my course and then I will teach you everything you learn, and then I'll give you a refund if you are not happy, within 14 days, and you can keep the free ebooks. And it's not all of that. All right. It's very straightforward to say that you see everything first, and then if you like what you see, then you want to learn how to do it. You learn the first part free because that's the basics. Then the second part we will take from the basics, clarify your doubts, and then go into what you need to know to just sell option. And like I said, you can just do this one strategy for the next 20-30 years. You don't need to learn anything else, and you can generate monthly income for yourself. The more capital you have, the more income you generate. This is more of often the methodology where you put 2-3 trades, which is twice a week, and you're sorted. Okay, and I'll be very happy to see you in my next videos. So go to this link. You can click this on the description and register yourself, and I'll send you the stuff. Okay, have a good day. Bye bye.